Welcome to Coffee and Popcorn, where we bring you the most striking stories from around the world. Not everybody can deal with their partner hanging around people they used to be intimate with, which is exactly what OP's doing to her partner. Let's find out how this drama unfolds.
Me and my boyfriend have constantly been arguing about my past partners being in my life, at least in some capacity. We've been dating for 6 months, and we escalated our relationship by meeting each other's families. We've even started talking about marriage. I'm 30 years old, and I've had sexual partners in the past, but this is my first real relationship. Because of how my social life is, some of the guys from my past are still in my life, mostly through mutual friends and group settings. For example, one of my hookups that I slept with 10 years ago is a DJ, and he performs at parties for my friends and family. Another one, who I had a friends with benefits situation with about 4 years ago, is part of a large coworker friend group, so I see him whenever that group meets up. I'm on good terms with all these guys, and I have no interest in them. They're also married or in long-term relationships. Since our hookups, I've never met these guys one-on-one. It's only been in group settings. My current boyfriend, who's 28, got into an argument with me when I said I was going to meet my coworker group. He found out my old hookup was going to be there. I was excited to hang out with this friend group because we hadn't hung out in ages, and I used to see them every day. My boyfriend put up a boundary, saying that if I went, he'd be upset. He also said that he doesn't want to be in a relationship with me if I can't respect that boundary. He's had previous relationship experience with partners breaking his trust and lying, so I understand where all this comes from. For me, this feels overprotective and controlling. This coworker group only hangs out if the whole group is there. My boyfriend telling me that I can't hang out with one person means that I can't hang out with any of them. Therefore, I'm basically cutting them out of my life. As for the situation with the DJ, my boyfriend doesn't want me to go to parties where he performs, which are my family and friend functions. Not being able to go to milestone events for my loved ones because of this really hurts. I've removed all of my previous hookups from my social media accounts, and I told him that he can come with me to the events, but he doesn't want to because he feels uncomfortable. Even though I don't love this solution, I told him that I wouldn't see my coworker group when my old hookup's there. I also told him that if my old DJ hookup is hosting an event with someone I'm close with, I'll ask them to find someone else. My boyfriend wants to pause our marriage until I get these people out of my life. I don't actively try to keep these people in my life, so there's no way for me to put a timeline on that, or action it. My boyfriend promised me that we'll go to couples therapy to work on his trust issues. On my end, I don't see any issue with me being in the same space as my previous hookups when there are so many people around, but he doesn't agree. Do you think he's being unreasonable, or are these healthy boundaries?
If there was ever a reason to not hook up with people in your social circle, this is it. When you meet someone you want to build a life with, being in contact with people you have a sexual history with can be a problem. Now, it seems like the OP is making an effort to minimize her contact with the guys from her past, but judging from how she's described the situation, it won't be easy. Since OP's partner was cheated on before, it's understandable as to why he doesn't like her sharing their company. Getting married is no joke. It's supposed to be a lifelong commitment. I don't think most people would want their partner engaging with people they've hooked up with because it adds an extra element of risk to the relationship. Personally, I've seen the drama that can unfold when people are in contact with exes or past hookups. While they might say things like, nothing will ever happen and that they're just friends, when it comes to cheating, it mostly happens with friends, exes, or co-workers. At the end of the day, if you're serious about building a life with someone, you've got to protect it. But let's see what the lovely people in the comments section had to say.
Fun Concentrate says, "This is why I have a personal boundary of not dating anyone who has exes in their social circles. Other people are fine with it. I'm not one of them. I've watched this happen to too many friends, and the drama was hysterical to me. You guys aren't compatible. It's okay for him to have his boundaries and feelings on the matter, and it's also perfectly fine to have exes as friends. There are plenty of women who share his views. He just needs to find one. Same with you, OP. You've already said that you're giving up something to placate him, so maybe the better solution is to find a guy who's okay with you having exes in your social circles. Sometimes life's easier than we let it be." Gator Bro says, "You have to figure out what the most important thing is to you, your boyfriend or your friends. If he's uncomfortable with you hanging around with people you've hooked up with in the past, then for his sake, you don't go. If you're more interested in being with your friends and in your friend group, and you don't care that you're hurting your boyfriend, then break up with him and stay with your friends. Your choice. Him not feeling comfortable with you being around people you've hooked up with in the past is okay. A lot of people are uncomfortable with that. Bobo Banyan says, cutting off all contact with past romantic or sexual partners is reasonable. If you don't, it's a deal breaker for most men. This isn't controlling behavior, except for people who don't want to take accountability for their actions. Maintaining contact with past partners will likely be a problem for any partner worth having. If you were a partner of worth, you wouldn't want to engage in behavior that legitimately causes stress for your partner. And you hanging out with past sexual partners is a legitimate problem, especially if alcohol might be involved. He has more than enough reason to break up with you, let alone pause your marriage, whatever that means. Your attitude regarding this subject and your dismissal of his normal feelings means that you're not wife material. Frankly, if you work with any past sexual partners, you need to find a new job as well. Regardless of what happens with this boyfriend, it'll be a problem going forward. Outside of that, you can just keep saying that it's controlling, insist on doing stuff that crosses reasonable boundaries, and go back to being single. A lot of women on here are going to tell you that he's immature, controlling, and give you really bad advice. If you want a relationship with a good guy, someone who cares about you and your relationship, you need a hard no-contact rule with any past partners. This includes colleagues, even if it ends your career and you have to retrain. Yes, this sucks, but it's a direct result of your own past actions. This is the part where you can either pay the piper and advance in life, or keep going and make it worse down the road.
Most of the time, when someone cheats on their partner, it's because they let things happen very slowly over time. The cheating partner will do things that seem harmless, but every day their boundaries are pushed by whoever they're engaging with. If they don't do anything to stop it, or fail to notice what's happening, they might eventually find themselves doing the unthinkable. One of the commenters was right when they mentioned the presence of alcohol when you're around past sexual partners. This isn't a recipe for anything good, especially when your relationship hits a bit of a rough patch, which it eventually will. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Coffee and Popcorn, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.